Hi friends, welcome to today's video. My name's Stephanie and today we're going to be celebrating my 1-year anniversary here on YouTube. So I'm super excited about this. I know it's kind of like silly or whatever, but I'm just very excited because it's been this whole thing. I'll talk about that later in the outro, but today I thought it would just be really fun to wear my channel colors as a really pretty gradient. So it'll be kind of like a nail prep slash tutorial video, just as a fun way to celebrate. So hopefully you'll enjoy it and stick around for my little sappy message at the end. But for now, let's get into the tutorial. The first thing I'm going to be doing is filing my nails a bit, and I'm going to be using Cirque's Smooth Move Crystal Nail File. I really love using crystal nail files because I find them to be more gentle than standard emery boards. Usually glass files have a finer grit, and right now I'm only filing the left side of my nail because I think I just filed a little too much on the right side before, so I'm just evening it out. Then I'm going to be going in with this buffing block that I have just to lightly buff my nails because, as you probably are aware, I always complain that they're stained. So lightly buffing is okay, but I try not to do it too often. Then I have this cute little jar that I filled with Pure Acetone, and I'm dipping in my cleanup brush just to wipe it across my nail, just to remove any residue, which will allow for my base coat to stick to my nail. And speaking of base coats, right now I'm using Mooncat Smoothing Nail Primer. I actually don't love this as a base coat as much as I thought I would. I think it just doesn't work well with my body chemistry because I find that it doesn't last that long on me, unfortunately, but I'm still going to use it. So I just did a nice generous coat here, and now to prep for my gradient, I go in with 1 coat of the lightest shade, which is going to be Holo Pinky Swear. I personally like to use the lightest shade of the gradient as opposed to white because sometimes with your gradients you might miss some spots and then you see white sticking out. So I think using the lightest shade will just kind of make it blend a little bit more. Then once that coat dries down, I go in with some liquid latex. This one is from Amazon that I just repurposed into an old Glisten and Glow bottle, but you can obviously use whatever you want. And if you don't have liquid latex, you just need a Q-tip dipped in acetone to clean up. So once the latex is dried, I get my other gradient shades ready. So along with Holo Pinky Swear, I'm going to be using Mooncat's Euphoric, Holo Serial Killer, and then Mooncat's Sweet Nightmare. These 4 shades make such a perfect gradient already, so it makes blending them super easy. And to blend them, I'm going to be using this makeup sponge, which I did cut off because I like to repurpose as much of my sponges as possible. So once I'm ready, I just have all the bottles open and off to the side just so it's easier to access. So I start with my lightest shade and paint a stripe across the sponge, and then go on with each shade painting another stripe next to it, but slightly overlapping, so that way you don't have these like harsh stripes across. But either way, once you start dabbing onto your nail, you are going to be moving the sponge around, so it'll also blend it a little bit more. So once your stripes are all painted, you can start dabbing it onto your nail, and I'm mainly dabbing in a left to right motion instead of an up and down, just to kind of preserve the stripes and not make them overlap too much, because otherwise the middle colors are just gonna get a little too blended. So once I'm happy with this first coat, I let it dry, and then I will paint the nail polish onto the sponge again in the same stripes and then dab another layer. Usually I just need 2 coats of dabbing and the gradient will be fully opaque, but if you use any polishes that are a little bit more sheer, you might need another coat. Since I'm happy with how this looks, I'm going in with an orange stick to peel away at the liquid latex. As you can see, it doesn't really come off easy, so using tweezers scissors isn't the best. After that's peeled, I'll go in with my acetone again just to clean up around the edges, and here is the gradient looking so good. So you could just top coat it here, but I'm going to be using Mooncat's Moondust first, which is a really dainty, super delicate holographic glitter topper. I think it's just such a perfect addition to any mani. It's so pretty, and I love the hollow sparkle that it gives. So yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. I'm going to be applying it to all of my nails, of course. So here is a nice little calming moment, seeing the full gradient, which is already so satisfying on its own. Like, I do love a plain gradient. I don't think there's anything plain about it, but once you add a little hollow sparkle on top, it is just so much more magical. So I especially love this combo. But this topper isn't an actual top coat, so I am going to be using Mooncat's Speed Demon top coat just to seal everything in. As you saw, it is very well loved. This one is just a really nice, shiny, kind of thick, but quick dry top coat. So I just think it's great because it dries down really fast. It can get a little thick, but as long as you have nail polish thinner, it's totally fine. So here is the finished look, and I am just so obsessed. These nails make me so happy, and even though it is obviously inspired by my channel colors and all that, I think these just give me such whimsical, dreamy vibes, very much Libra nails. And I mean, that's the whole reason why I went with these as my channel colors to begin with. But yeah, I love them, and I hope you love them too. So that wraps up my little gradient tutorial to celebrate my 1-year anniversary. So of course, I have to say a big thank you to everybody who's here, whether you've been here from the beginning of my channel, or you found me along the way, or you just subscribed last week, because I hit 2,000 subscribers last week. So it's just insane to think about how much I've grown over this past year. And I can't even get over the fact that it's already been a year since I started, because I have been wanting to do YouTube for maybe like 6 to 7 years. And unfortunately, I was just not in a good environment that would allow me to be myself. And I definitely couldn't bring myself to be comfortable enough to be in front of a camera in that environment. So thankfully, once I got out of that, and you know, now I'm here, I'm in like my happy space, there was a lot of mental stuff that I had to work through to even try to be here, which I don't know if I'm being like too vague. Like I want to be more personal, but like I don't know how much to say. But yeah, it was a lot to work through, and if I could just pat myself on the back for a minute, I am just really proud of myself for how I have showed up for myself this past year, because the year before that, I was like not in a good space mentally speaking, and this has just really like turned my life around, and I'm just so grateful to be here, to have you watching and especially commenting, because I mean it when I say at the end of my videos to leave a comment so we can chat about it, because if you couldn't tell, I love to talk and I genuinely love connecting with people, even if it is over something as silly as nail polish. Like, I think there is room for authenticity, even if it is on social media, which I know some people are just like, that is impossible. I think it can exist, and I really want to be a creator that is authentic. And I'm just so happy that so many of you see that in me and have chosen to follow me for that. So thank you so much for being here. I really hope that you have loved my content so far, and of course, leave me any feedback that you have. I know that there's always ways that I can improve. Unfortunately, since I am working on limited equipment, I can't exactly just upgrade things that easy, but those are things that I think about. But yeah, if you do have any other feedback, of course, I would love to hear it because I just want to improve and be better. But yeah, thank you again so much for being here, for liking my videos, for commenting on them, and of course for chatting with me. But yeah, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.